Have you ever felt like you're drowning in advice but starving for wisdom? The internet is filled with articles and gurus telling you what to do, but how do you know what actually works? What if you could get a peek inside the minds, habits, and routines of the world's absolute best? The billionaires, the icons, the world-class performers, and steal their blueprints for success. That's exactly what today's book offers. We're diving into Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. This isn't a book you read from front to back. It's a massive cookbook of strategies distilled from hundreds of interviews with the most successful people on the planet from his podcast, The Tim Ferriss Show. It's designed for you to pick and choose the recipes that will transform your life. Today, we're going to walk through this incredible toolkit, breaking it down into the book's three main sections: how to be healthy, how to be wealthy, and how to be wise. Part 1, Healthy, Forging a World-Class Body and Mind. You can't achieve anything if your physical and mental health are in the gutter. This is the foundation. First, let's talk about physical resilience and preparation. Champion obstacle racer Amelia Boone recovers by drinking beetroot powder with hydrolyzed gelatin to rebuild connective tissue and rolls her feet on a golf ball to stimulate her hamstrings. She loves competing in cold, rainy weather because she knows it mentally breaks her competition. Then there's Wim Hof, the Iceman, who climbed Mount Everest in just shorts. He teaches breathing techniques to withstand extreme cold. The simple takeaway from Ferriss: try ending your shower with 30 to 60 seconds of cold water. It can boost immunity, aid weight loss, and even fight depression. Next is the power of personal experimentation. Dr. Justin Markarak, a personal health coach, doesn't believe in one-size-fits-all solutions. He found that for some, high cholesterol can actually help build muscle mass, the opposite of conventional wisdom. This section also explores microdosing, championed by James Fadiman as a tool for well-being, though it comes with a strong warning to be done under medical supervision. But physical health is nothing without mental fortitude. Self-development legend Tony Robbins points out that our 2-million-year-old brain wasn't designed for happiness, it was designed for survival. He says suffering comes from focusing on ourselves, driven by three words: loss, feeling you have less than others, and believing something will never happen. His advice: fix your state first, then your story, then your strategy. Get yourself in a positive, powerful state before you try to solve problems. This idea of reframing is echoed by Derek Sivers, founder of CD Baby, with his "Don't be a donkey" principle. It's based on a parable of a donkey standing between a bucket of hay and a bucket of water, unable to decide which to go to first, and so it dies of hunger and thirst. We do this all the time, creating false choices like, should I go to college or not, when often we can find a way to do both. And finally, let's look at morning routines and mental training. Tim Ferriss shares his 5 morning rituals. Make your bed, a small win to start the day, meditate for 10 to 20 minutes, do a few light exercises, drink tea, and journal, often focusing on gratitude. Meditation is a common thread through more than 80% of the titans in this book. It's not about stopping your thoughts, it's about observing them without being controlled by them. Google's Chad Meng suggests starting small, even just 3 minutes a day, and practicing just note gone, simply noticing when a thought or feeling has passed. Part 2, Wealthy, Deconstructing Success and Business. This section is about the mindset and tactics for building wealth and a successful career. The core principle is to model the masters. As the saying goes, success leaves clues. If you can find the blueprint for how someone built a mansion, you can build one too. It's about deconstructing what works and applying it. You don't need to conquer the world, you just need 1,000 true fans, a concept from Kevin Kelly. A true fan is someone who will buy anything you produce. If you can make 1,000 people ecstatically happy and they spend just $100 a year on your work, that's a 6-figure income. Focus on a small, passionate audience, and they will become your marketing team. And remember, there are no failures, only outcomes. Failure's just feedback. It took Seth Rogen over 10 years to get the movie Superbad made. Tim Ferriss was rejected by over 20 publishers. Colonel Sanders was rejected 1,009 times before someone bought his chicken recipe. To overcome mental hurdles, legendary music producer Rick Rubin has a trick for writer's block. He tells the artist to go home and just write one word. That one word becomes a sentence, which becomes a verse, which becomes a hit song. The lesson is to break a massive task down into the smallest possible step. Scott Adams, creator of the Dilbert cartoon, famously says, "Losers have goals, winners have systems." Instead of a goal, build a daily system that makes success inevitable. He also used affirmations, writing his goal down 15 times a day, which he believes primed his brain to see opportunities. The book is filled with unconventional advice. Billionaire investor Chris Sacca advises you to be your weird self because it makes you memorable. Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal, challenges you to think differently about time. What is your 10-year plan, and how can you achieve it in the next 6 months? And marketing guru Seth Godin says to be a meaningful specific rather than a wandering generality. It's better to be a big deal to a small group than irrelevant to everyone. And how do you manage yourself? Tim Ferriss lives by his 17 questions that changed my life. These are questions designed to break through self-imposed rules, like, what if I did the opposite for 48 hours? Or, what if I could only work 2 hours per week? But the most important question is, what are the worst things that could happen? This leads to his concept of fear setting, a way to conquer anxiety by defining it. Part 3. Wise, philosophical tools for a better life. This final section is about the philosophies that guide these titans. What's it all for? First, let's consider life and death. Dr. B.J. Miller, a palliative care physician who has attended over 1,000 deaths, advises that when you're suffering, look up at the night sky. It's a reminder of how vast the universe is and how small your worries are in comparison. Kevin Kelly, co-founder of Wired magazine, keeps a literal death countdown clock on his computer to remind him that life is finite. On managing emotions, comedian Whitney Cummings offers profound insights. She says people-pleasing is a form of being an asshole because you're lying to people, implying they can't handle the truth. Researcher Brené Brown teaches that we are all both brave and afraid at the same time, and that leaning into discomfort is where growth happens. To deal with online hate, the book suggests expecting it and ignoring those who are just there to hate, while accepting constructive criticism. Buddhist teacher Tara Brach introduces the concept of radical acceptance. When you feel anger or doubt, instead of fighting it, you invite that demon, Mara, in for tea. You acknowledge it, sit with it, and rob it of its power. This is complemented by chess prodigy Josh Waitzkin's use of empty space, reducing distractions like social media to cultivate creativity, and Tim's concept of a deloading phase, taking scheduled, long breaks to recharge. Finally, the book offers powerful life philosophies. Naval Ravikant, CEO of Angel List, says desire is a contract you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want. He reminds us that anger is a hot coal that you hold in your hand while waiting to throw it at someone else. And film director Roberto Rodriguez, who made his first movie El Mariachi for just $7,000, teaches that constraints can be a good thing because they force creativity. When faced with a problem, his response is always good. He looks for the opportunity hidden within the obstacle. Tools of Titans is more than a book. It's a manual for a life of purpose and continuous growth. It emphasizes action, experimentation, the power of mindset, and relentless learning. Tim Ferriss hopes that these titans can act as giants on whose shoulders we can stand, giving us a better vantage point to navigate the beautiful chaos of our own lives. If this deep dive into a massive toolkit for success is the kind of practical wisdom you're looking for, you've come to the right place. That's what we do here at The Book Whisperer. We break down powerful, life-changing books to give you the tools you need to solve real-world problems. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our next breakdown.